Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the backstory. If you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified whenever we post a new video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Jubilee Party is today holding its National Delegates Conference along Gong Road. And so far, the information that we have is that the former President Uhuru Kenyatta has already arrived, and Matiang'i as well has arrived. And from what we are getting is that the former president will retain his position as the leader of Jubilee Party, while Matiang'i will be endorsed as the deputy leader, and with some time Matiang'i will be unveiled as the Jubilee's presidential candidate come 2027. So Jubilee expects to endorse Matiang'i later next year to be the flag bearer, but him being declared the deputy party leader will send a very, very key signal. But whatever is going to happen today will shape the opinion of the united opposition. So far, there have been reactions from DCP party, whereby yesterday the DCP deputy party leader Malala talked about this today's NDC, and I want you to listen in.
Kuhusu kufanya mapenzi na msichana ambaye ako na kisu anangoja nilale anidunge kwa kifua. Hiyo chama ambayo inazinduliwa kesho imekuja kuvunja DCP na umaarufu wa Rigathi Gachagua. And therefore the Mlima people, mimi sitoki kwa mlima, mimi naweza sema jioni nitaenda Kakamega nikule ugali yangu. Hiyo chama must be warned that kama mko kwa united opposition, msikuje kugawanisha stronghold. Tayari DCP imeshika mlima yote, imeshika yote. Sasa mnatumwa. Kama wewe ni mtu ya Kasongo umetumwa na wheelbarrow ya red. Tomorrow they are unveiling wheelbarrow ya kala red. Kesho mkiona kitu yote inazinduliwa kesho ya red. Ya red. Ya red. Ya red. Hiyo sio chama ambayo inataka mazuri kwa party leader wetu na chama cha DCP.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, from that reaction from Malala, it tells you about the feeling of other political parties within the united opposition. Malala is kind of trying to echo, or is trying to project the feeling of DCP party about the unveiling of Matiang'i as the Jubilee presidential candidate, even though it's not going to be done today. But already they're sending some mixed signals, in that they're saying that they don't welcome Jubilee party in Mount Kenya region, because the feeling is that Jubilee party is coming to wrestle the leadership or wrestle the influence of DCP within Mount Kenya region. Just as I had told you in the previous videos, Rigathi Gachagua is trying to consolidate his backyard. He's trying to get as many aspirants as possible to run on DCP party, so that he can win majority. He can have like majority members of parliament compared to any other political party come post 2027, so that after 2027, whoever will win the presidency, be it President William Ruto, be it a member of the united opposition, whoever will win, then Rigathi Gachagua will use that opportunity to now bargain in terms of cabinet secretary, in terms of slots in government. And then he can even bargain for a vice presidency position, or even Speaker of the National Assembly, Speaker of the Senate, because he will be calling shots. But when Jubilee comes in, as they are saying right now, then Jubilee will now give Mount Kenya voters an option, whereby if you don't clinch DCP party ticket during nominations, then you have Jubilee party as an option. So this will bring a lot of competition for DCP. And should Jubilee manage to even win half of the slots in the Mount Kenya region, then it means DCP's influence will be watered down. And that is what Rigathi Gachagua and DCP party members are not comfortable about. But the question is, which Matiang'i should ask himself, or Matiang'i's handlers should ask themselves, is that, is it okay to be with Uhuru Kenyatta, or to rally behind, or to run on a DCP party? That is the question that Matiang'i needs to ask himself. Because one, okay, it's okay to run on a Jubilee party, but does Matiang'i have a team within Jubilee party who can go out there and campaign for him? Unlike DCP party that has Rigathi Gachagua, who already has been known as a mobilizer. So if Rigathi Gachagua decides to now go against Matiang'i, how will he take it? Now, ladies and gentlemen, the question is, and this is the question that Matiang'i and his handlers should ask themselves, which way should they go? Already they're in Jubilee, which is okay, but which is the lesser evil? Should it be DCP or Jubilee party? Jubilee party has former President Uhuru Kenyatta, who has influence. He has networks. But do those networks still exist, and how active are they? Former President Uhuru Kenyatta has friends who have means, the financial means to support Matiang'i. But sometimes money does not count so much when it comes to politics. Sometimes the kind of friends that you have, if they're still active, and some of these friends will look at the possibility of you clinching that seat. If you have the possibility of clinching the seat, that is when they will come and rally behind you. But if you have a very, very remote chance, then they'll always look for another option. So look at it this way. The former President Uhuru Kenyatta, yeah, he has means, he has networks that he had during his presidency. But I don't know if he can still wake those networks up and use them in 2027. So the question, another question is, what if Matiang'i went to DCP party and talked to Rigathi Gachagua and vied on a DCP party? Would he really make it? For me, I think he would have made it. Because former President Uhuru Kenyatta, one, is barred by the Constitution not to be actively involved in politics. So even though he might be able to support Matiang'i, but he will support him remotely. He will use the likes of Jeremiah Kioni, the likes of Ngujiri Wambogo, and maybe Wamalwa, who has his own party. So his influence politically or directly with the common man might not be felt, because for him to have an impact on Matiang'i's campaign, he has to be involved directly. He has to be seen to be campaigning for Matiang'i, which I don't think the former president might be willing to do that. So why am I talking about DCP? I've not been paid to campaign for DCP, but in politics they say that the end justifies the means. You have to look at which party gives you like an opportunity or an opportunity to win the presidency. So had Matiang'i gone to Rigathi Gachagua and talked to him, now that Rigathi Gachagua might not vie for the presidency in 2027, then they'd make a deal so that he runs on a DCP party, then have Matiang'i now, have Gachagua now campaign for him in central Kenya, and he uses that opportunity to bargain with other political parties within the united opposition so that he can get power fast After getting power, after clinching that presidency, is when now he can start thinking of other issues on how to galvanize his position or his leadership after getting power. That is why you told that the end justifies the means. Get the power first, then think about other issues that were surrounding that. So for me, if I was to advise Matiang'i, that would have been the easiest way for him. But in all this, there's going to be a tug of war, because for him, his interest is in Central Kenya, so that he gets the votes of Central Kenya, which he might not get per se, or he might get like 60%, but he might not get the numbers, that is the members of parliament that he needs, even if he is to win the presidency. So which way for him? Will Rigathi Gachagua still support him fully now that he's become a competitor in Central Kenya? Will he really campaign for Matiang'i? And if he decides not to campaign for him, how is that going to affect Matiang'i's campaigns in 2027 ahead of the next general election? Because here is a case whereby you have Rigathi Gachagua campaigning against you. You have the current president who also has his agents within Mount Kenya region. Then you also have former President Uhuru Kenyatta. Those are like three competitors. That reduces or dims his chances of clinching or getting the number of votes that he was expecting. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll do another analysis after the NDC ends, and then now we'll come back and look at some of the possibilities ahead of 2027 general election. But we'll keep monitoring what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll keep you posted. But if you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and the notification bell down below so that you can be notified whenever we post a new video. Until next time, bye-bye.